Hi guys, welcome back. Happy New Year. This is the first video of 2015. I hope you all had a good Christmas. I know I sure did. I got some cool train stuff and I also got myself some Christmas presents. I've done a few things to lay out. I've done some things to a couple structures. Nothing major. This should be probably a short one if I don't ramble on too far, but alright, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing is I got a new camera for Christmas. This is the one I'm using right now, is the new camera. And one of the major differences is I can look up at a light or at something bright and there won't be a huge purple stripe going down the middle of the screen, which is nice. Plus it has a better image stabilizer, so if I move the camera quickly, it won't seem as choppy, and it won't seem it'll be a lot smoother of a transition than it really is. Has some nice zoom features, zooms in pretty damn far too, so that's very cool. So one thing I've spent a lot of time on in the recent time is rebuilding this Walther's Cornerstone cement grain elevator. When I originally built this, I think I was only about a year and a half into model railroading and had absolutely no experience building structures. So if you look back in previous videos, you'll probably notice that one, the color of the building is fading, it's turning a little bit yellowish, and two, there's glue blotches all over the place because I apparently cannot control my hand, or I couldn't control my hand when I was young. But I repainted it, took it all apart. As you can see there, I've done some weathering to it. I chose the agrium colors, so a bit of like a lime green color, and I did some accenting on some of the other places. It looks pretty good. I'll go to another view to show you the weathering more in depth. So hold on a minute. So here's another view of it. As you can see, I did a few little graffiti things on there. Those are just micro scale decals. I had some rust streaks, and on the top where those vents are, you can see I did some rust on there as well. Zoom back out here, you can see that I did some weathering down here as well. That little shack is pretty heavily weathered. I still have yet to put the little pipe from the top of the building leading into the covered area to load the hoppers, but that's still getting painted, so that should be on next layout update. And if you haven't noticed already, I did do some scenery. I made it look kind of rough. Every time I've seen grass by railroad tracks, it's either dead or very overgrown, and that's kind of what I tried to replicate here. I also have done some ballasting for the grain and steel coil facility. You can see with the grain there, sorry I zoomed in so fast, but in between the tracks I did some spilt grain and grass growing in between there. Did the parking lot, and I did some small kind of detailing work there with a gate, and what I did was I chopped some rail up and I soldered the rail together to where I thought it was to scale. I kind of matched up with a figure and soldered them together, and I spray painted it yellow. And I'll have to weather them down, make them look rusty and so forth, because you don't really see those types of gates pure yellow unless it's brand new, which usually anything by a grain mill or grain elevator is pretty rusty, and the grain elevator has been there for a long time. So I think that adds a nice touch. There is a post supporting the other side of that gate. I still need to paint it yellow, and I've made it so the gate, I can open or close the gate however I want to. make the scene look. So also, since the last layout update, I've done a whole bunch of ballast work. I had to rip up this corner a while back because I tried to super elevate it, but I couldn't get the transition to flat to the super elevated curve right, so I took it out, and then I just never got to reballast the area. So I did that in the past, or since the last video anyway, and I did a bunch more ballasting in other places, which I'll show you. So I also did some ballast work down this little switching industrial area. I also, coming back down here, did some ballast work in the lumber yard and this far track right here for the yard. It needed to, on the one side, it needed to be reballasted because I had to take it up when I took up the industrial switching tracks. And I also did some more ballasting in a few other areas, which I'll just show you pretty quickly. So I'm doing this one with by hand, so if it's shaky, I apologize. It's hard to get the camera to the right position, but I did some ballast work all along the back wall there for the inner loop around. And then this ballast in the very front here, that's not glued down yet, but will be shortly. Station still needs to be worked on, and the ballasting goes all the way down over there. I also did some ballast work in this corner here. You'll probably notice if you watched my running vid with West Coast Rails, you'll probably notice that that corner right there had no ballast. You could just see the cork and tracks. I put ballast down all the way up to the crossovers. I still haven't done the switch because I need to install Torus switch machine, which I have yet to do, but that is on my list next time I go to the hobby store. So something that is on my list of things to do that I will be completing shortly is that I'm going to be ripping up this bridge and hill part here for obvious reasons. As you can see, the angle is nowhere near correct. The trucks won't. It doesn't look realistic. The trucks get hung up on it and so forth. So I will be ripping that up and making it a little more of a gradual slope. And hopefully by next layout update you will see that completed. So here's something I picked up for Christmas that I bought myself. I got 4 of these Intermountain cylindrical hoppers in the CN paint scheme with the round hatches. Now I have 2 different kinds here. They don't look any different, don't have any different specifications except for the fact that they have different reporting marks. I have 2 of these are by the reporting mark of CNIS, and the other 2 are the reporting mark of CNLX. And I also, prior to that, I bought another one with the reporting mark CNIS. So I have 5 of these in total. They have awesome detail. Everything's legible under magnification. Excuse me. And they're a great car. But funny thing is that I just actually watched Derek Glass's video on how he's had to send 5 or 6 locomotives back to Intermountain for ongoing problems, and obviously I'm not having the same problem because clearly this is not a locomotive. But however, when I took these out of the box, they ran very crappy, they sounded crappy, and they weren't good, and or to my liking anyway. And it actually sounded like the wheels were made out of ballast, and they just sounded horrible. And they had and they still have, and even now they have a very significant drag, and will probably have to be put on the front of all my trains because just how fast they stop. Like, the drag is terrible. Compared to the car I got first, this runs so much smoother compared to one car alone. And I don't know what it is. I think Intermountain is a little bit overwhelmed with the facts, or by how much product they're releasing. And when actually, the problem with the wheels was that I took a closer look at them, and there was little white blotches all over the place. I don't know what it was, but a little bit of goo gone and it went away. And I don't know what's up with Intermountain right now. They make very nice rolling stock, but when it doesn't run properly, it doesn't seem as nice anymore. Which I fixed my problem, but with Derek Glass's locomotives running, that would just get into my head and totally annoy me. So other than that, great car. I wouldn't say to stop buying these cars. Intermountain does make very nice products. So don't take my words for advice for buying these cars, because I could have very well just got a bad batch. Who knows? But let's move on to the next thing. So another thing I picked up for Christmas were these two North American Railcar Corporation, Hawker Siddeley, Saskatchewan Grain Car Corporation cylindrical hoppers. They're exact same as the Canada grain cars that I got not too long ago, just in a different paint scheme. I really like these cars. These cars have a nice paint scheme for sure. I have more of these cars from NARC coming. Well, I just talked to Dan, and he said hopefully somewhere in January, early February. It got pushed back for whatever reason, but excited to get those Saskatchewan exclamation mark and no exclamation mark cars, because they're really nice looking. But that's all of the cars I got from last update. Let's look at the stuff I got for Christmas. So I got a couple structures for Christmas from my parents, one of which is this Walther's New River mining kit. Very excited to build these. I've been wanting these kits for a while now because they will be going in a possible expansion, which I have yet to do a video on, which I promised. But I also got this Walther's coal flood loader, which is also very cool because I plan to make it operational like NS Modeler did, and I'm planning on having a huge coal operation in my expansion, so that'll be pretty cool. Actually, here's something I almost forgot about, I did some striping on the roads. I did the sidewalks and the solid yellow lines in the middle. I still have to do no parking areas, and I have to do the dotted lines because there's 2-lane roads. That still has to be done, but this is all freehand. I'm pretty happy about how it turned out. I think I did better than I was expecting to, but other than that, it does make the city look a lot better now. It makes it pop a little bit more. I need to still weather the road and so forth, but that'll come later, and then I will slowly start adding figures and street lamps and so on and so forth. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that layout update. I'll end the video off with a little bit of a running video of a CP grain train. Not all CP, there will be a mixture of whatever grain cars I have, but hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.